you look good. I mean, you look like you're walking well.
I feel good. I don't have any problems. I used to, as I just told them, I used to walk 4, 5, 6 miles every day on the beach. This year I get to 2 and I get a little, my legs get a little tired. So now I work it up. But I'm fine, really.
Joe, can you clear up what's going on with Caroma and Wallace? There's been some talk that they may or may not be with the team.
Well, Wallace questioned him.
I'm sorry?
Wallace questioned him and cut some classes.
Okay.
Caroma's got some personal problems.
Are they with the team now, or is it a wait-and-see kind of thing there?
I'm not sure what's going on. I doubt if Caroma will.
Okay.
But he's really got some problems.
How's everything else going for the team and you this summer?
Oh, who knows? Yeah. That phone rings on Sunday morning and I shake.
I know Lee didn't do the contact drills in the spring. Have you seen enough of him to get a feel for where he is?
Oh,
And
he should be fine.
how much of
He's worked like a dog in the whole summer. No, I've been very pleased with this team's worked really hard in the summer. So that's a plus. But whether some of the young kids can, get in there and keep their poise and, not make stupid mistakes, we'll see.
The question marks you've had about some of the positions, is this as many as you've had in a while as far as who's going to play where? And
Gee, that's a tough question to answer. I wouldn't think it's any more than we've had. We usually have a couple every year. We need a couple linemen. We probably need another corner. A guy that has had some experience that can play, and we hopefully,
Pinnell, important guy for you, I imagine.
Yeah, well, hey, anybody's a pretty good player on the offensive line. Because it's just not a question of getting one offensive line. You got to get when somebody gets bumped up or something. Pinnell's going to be, I think, without having seen that much of him, I think Pinnell's going to be pretty good.
In your experience, we're talking about getting all these guys together on the offensive line, getting them to know each other. It usually takes a couple of years, doesn't it? It's hard to get them together this quickly.
Well,
cohesive.
there's 2 guys that have been with me a long time, Bill Kenny and Dick Anderson, and we work with the offensive line. And they've been together a long time. They got a great way with kids, and they do a little extra here, a little extra there at the practice when we start. They do a lot of things with the kids. So I think they'll get over that. They'll get over that pretty quick. And we'll keep it simple. We've tried to always, even in the beginning of last year when I was worried about some kids, we kept blocking schemes as simple as we could keep them. Take our chances on cutting down a couple of runs, but we'll just go slow and go from there to there.
And you feel pretty good about Wisniewski in the middle of being able to call signals.
I think
direct.
Wisniewski and Landau are both good football.
Joe, how concerned are you about Clark, given your inexperienced depth behind him at quarterback?
Well, they're always worried about that, but I think Clark is. I think Clark has a chance to be a really good football player, but he's got to, he's got to build on what he did last year. He came out of nowhere, and that became out of nowhere because of me. I held him back a little because Jay wanted to play him more, and I didn't think I was hopeful Morelli would, that if I started playing the other kid, it would hurt his confidence, and I probably made a mistake. But I think he's fine. Obviously, he's going to be a drop-off because nobody's played.
Right. Well, he likes to run the ball. He likes to challenge tacklers.
Well, I hope he doesn't run the ball as much. That's one of the things he's got a good knack of finding people downfield. He started to read coverages well. He anticipated breaks, and he moved around enough in the pocket that he could, until he had somebody had time to free up. He's become a good quarterback. If he gets to the next level, it should be a question of discipline. He can't run a lot.
Right,
He can't. You're not going to let him. And he'll be sitting next to me, a headache.
Joe, you were the only team that beat Pryor last year. I wonder what your thoughts are on him being the offensive player of the year.
He was a heck of an athlete. He's a heck of a football player, a heck of an athlete. I'll tell you what, he's good.
Talking about Clark, He had a stable offensive line last year. Didn't get into a heck of a lot of trouble, not many sacks. But when sometimes he tried to make something out of nothing, Iowa rings a bell. And there might be more of those situations this year. Have you talked to him at all about not trying to do too much when he gets rushed?
They do that on the practice field. I think you got to give Iowa some credit. And Iowa's a good football. They were really good. And I was as worried about Iowa as anybody we played. Because they lost 3 games prior to we had played them by a total of about 8 points against some people that had an awfully good defensive football. So I don't think that, I think that would be a little bit of an unfair criticism of Clark that game. I really do. But I think Clark is, he's just got to, you just go out there and try to do what you just said. Don't throw the ball at the wrong time. Wait a little bit. And I think the big problem, we're used to some new receivers. Those 3 kids we lost, they were pretty darn good.
How has Newsome come along? Is he, because he's in such a key role?
Well, Newsome's got a lot of ability.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I've told 50 times, don't worry about running, don't run. But, he's new and he wants to make an impression, and he's the guy that, and Clark did the same thing when he was younger. Now, Newsome's a little quicker than Clark, more speed. But and he's really got a good arm, but he doesn't know what's going on yet. It's going to take a while.
Do you have to get him snaps early in the season, just that he gets out there so he's ready in case?
Well, it depends how things are going. I don't know that's the hard part of it. Sometimes I think I'm being evasive. I really don't know. I think we got to watch how he goes in practice, and go from there. But we got to keep it simple. Until everybody catches up, because you're only as quick as the slowest guy you got. You're only as smart as the dumbest guy you got. You got to get down to their level until you can start bringing them all up.
The last second loss that, ended a possible perfect regular season. Are games like that any easier for you to take now or
That's
harder?
the second one in 4 years or less.
Yeah.
No, they're not easy to take. But I could take that one better than I could take the Southern Cal game. We didn't play very well. I thought Southern Cal was a good football team. But Iowa played really well. I'd have to give Iowa credit. Coach done a heck of a job there. But it was still, I second-guess ourselves a little bit defensively that we didn't try to make that kid throw a couple passes in the pocket under a little more pressure. But if they hit a long one, I would have,
Joe, you had some issues with the Rose Bowl. Have you cleared those things up post?
What incident?
Well, just at the Rose Bowl game, but just ancillary issues aside from the football game, with things like interviews and stuff like that. And you would talk about you had problems.
Well, I
with
did
that.
everything they asked me to do, but the only thing I had a problem with them was they wanted the women in the locker room, and I've never let women in the locker room. We bring the guys out, and I think they got a little upset because I put some kind of a time limit on it. I'm not sure what it was. I don't know. You can't win.
Joe, you
In
were
those situations, what's the sense of even getting into it? I can't win that one.
We need to start moving.
You or Ohio State have won the last 4 Big Ten championships. Again, Ohio State's picked ahead of you this year. What do you think? Do you think
I think we won the last one last week.
Yeah, I said you won 2 and they won 2 in the last 4 years. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. So it's you 2 again. You guys kind of become the heavyweights in there.
Oh, gee, I don't know. Honest, I hope that you might be right, but I don't know. I know Ohio State's one of the heavyweights. I say Jim's done a great job recruiting and coaching, and they'll be tough. And they'll be, don't count on Michigan State, and don't count on Iowa, and I wouldn't count on Illinois. We got to play Illinois. That kid's one heck of a quarterback. Talk about guys that can make things happen. So I don't, it's nice to hear, but I'm not sure it's right.